It was my first week of senior year in high school. The final stretch of the 4 years I wanted to nothing but forget about. I chose classes I felt I could enjoy to redeem the past 3 miserable years. And driving home on a sunny Thursday afternoon with the wind in my hair, I felt happy and confident I could make the best of my final year. That was until I saw flashing blue lights in my rearview mirror. 20 minutes later, I pulled off the shoulder of the road, only half a mile from my house, and continued on my way home with tears in my eyes and a pricey speeding ticket, watching my misery from the passenger seat. I knew I wasn't the slowest driver. I inherited the rush of speeding from my dad. They aren't kidding when they say you drive like your parents. As much as I feared the wrath of the very unsympathetic police officer who issued me the citation, I could only imagine the hell that would rain on me when my parents found out. I tried to solve the problem on my own. I immediately started Googling how to deal with a speeding ticket on a Massachusetts junior operator license. The first thing I found, teens with a junior operator license in Massachusetts who get one speeding ticket face a 90-day license suspension, a $500 license reinstatement fee, a driver attitudinal retraining class, a state courts against road rage class, a retake of the full written and driving exam, and then the imminent increases on my car insurance. Cue an anxiety attack. I called my dad sobbing. There would be no way to hide this, and the consequences seemed completely inequitable. He was obviously disappointed in me, but he was able to sympathize with the fact that the Mass RMV doles out some pretty strict ramifications. He said he would discuss the idea of fighting the ticket with my mom, and he would get back to me. That weekend, they sat me down on the couch and told me the exact opposite of what I was expecting. We think that facing the suspension would be good for you. Build some character. What? Build character? I had just had numerous years of awful friends, a rocky relationship with my family, mental illness, and they wanted me to build character. Being the unrelenting and assertive person I am, I did not hold back. You guys know how much I've hated the past few years and have been looking forward to finally having a grip on life, and y'all won't even help me out with this. You guys have no regard for my feelings and the fact that this is going to ruin the potential for redemption of my last year before I move out. Plus, both of you will have to drive me everywhere, so joke's on you. Yeah, not my strongest argument. Probably should have taken the time to plan out my rebuttal. Not too surprisingly, my firestorm of accusations of their insensitivity did not change their mind. No, it actually made it worse. They immediately started listing off the rules I had to abide to during the suspension. From working every weekend, since there would be no guarantee I could hitch a ride to my job 20 minutes away on weekdays, to walking 4 miles home every day from school. Good going, Jill. Good going. In hindsight, I totally understand my parents' choice. I broke the law on a road I have been on every day since I moved into my house a decade ago. Sure, the consequences are a bit stricter than most places in the country, but I have to take responsibility for my actions. I gained humility through those 3 months. Well, 4, technically, because there's about a 1-month wait for a road test once the license is unsuspended. But who's counting? From having to beg for rides from friends and neighbors to school, to being met with many glares and looks of pity in the halls. News spreads like wildfire in my high school. But along with the glares, I heard a couple of people admit to getting a speeding ticket on a Massachusetts junior operator license. When talking to them, I quickly realized that I went about asking my parents to fight the ticket incorrectly. If I was going to successfully convince my parents to help me fight the suspension, I should have kept composure, delivered a serious argument, especially in respects to how it would affect my income and clocking in less hours at my job, and been mindful of the fact that as much as they're concerned about my driving habits, they were not super psyched to drive me around, especially for a 4:30 a.m. opening shift on Saturday mornings. Also, I should have shown remorse for my actions. As much as I discuss how much the consequences would affect my life, I was near an elementary school when I got caught. And should a child have run into the street and my speed inhibited me from slowing down in time, I could have seriously injured or even killed them. If a Massachusetts teen is trying to get out of their suspension, they must show their parents or guardian and an RMV judge that they understand what they did was wrong and that they will grow from it. On the other hand, for a serial speeder, like myself, I think the suspension is the appropriate consequence. Since that day, I always stay under the speed limit. I have learned my lesson and will still continue to deal with that mistake, as my insurance premium will be raised for the next few years, and insurance companies in the future can heighten the cost because of my driving record indicating I'm not a reliable driver. My dad mentioned to me a couple months ago that in hindsight, with all the hidden fees we've been faced with, he would have helped me fight the ticket. However, he said that he has seen me grow from the experience to be less of an emotional brat, and for that he is content with the idea of me explaining to my future husband why our car insurance is going to be so expensive.